Create a 10 minutes video for YouTube about history of Russia. History of Russia. The history of Russia is vast, complex, and filled with transformations that shaped not only the destiny of its own people, but also the history of the world. Stretching across Europe and Asia, Russia's story is one of empires, revolutions, wars, and ideological experiments that continue to influence global politics and culture, that to this day. From the early medieval state of Kievan Rus to the mighty Russian Empire, from the Soviet Union to the modern Russian Federation, the nation has undergone remarkable changes in political, social, and cultural spheres. Early foundations, Kievan Rus and Mongol rule. The origins of Russia can be traced back to the establishment of Kievan Rus in the 9th century, a federation of Slavic and Finnic peoples under the leadership of the Varangians. Kiev became the political and cultural center, and in 988, Prince Vladimir I converted to Christianity, aligning the state with the Byzantine Empire and shaping the spiritual and cultural foundations of Russian identity. However, in the 13th century, the Mongols invaded and subjugated Russian lands. The Mongol rule, often called the Tatar yoke, lasted for about 2 centuries. During this period, Russian principalities paid tribute to the Mongol Khans, yet they also learned organizational and military strategies that later influenced the rise of Moscow. Rise of Moscow and the Tsardom of Russia. By the late 15th century, the Principality of Moscow, Muscovy, emerged as a powerful state under the leadership of Ivan III, also known as Ivan the Great. He ended Mongol dominance and laid the foundations of a centralized Russian state. His grandson, Ivan IV, Ivan the Terrible, became the first ruler to be crowned as Tsar of all Russia in 1547. His reign expanded Russian territory into Siberia, but was also marked by brutal repression and political instability. The Romanov dynasty and Imperial Russia. In 1613, after a period of turmoil known as the Time of Troubles, the Romanov dynasty was established. The Romanovs ruled Russia for more than 300 years and transformed it into a vast empire. Among the most influential rulers was Peter the Great, 1682-1725, who modernized Russia, reorganized its army, introduced Western technology, and founded the city of St. Petersburg, which became the new capital. Later, Catherine the Great, 1762-1796, expanded Russia's borders and patronized the arts, helping to bring about Russia's cultural golden age. By the 19th century, Russia had become one of the most powerful empires in the world, stretching from Eastern Europe to the Pacific Ocean. However, serfdom, economic backwardness, and autocratic rule created internal tensions. Reforms such as the emancipation of serfs in 1861 by Tsar Alexander II could not fully address the growing demand for political and social change. Revolution and the Soviet era. The early 20th century brought upheaval. Russia's defeat in the Russo-Japanese War, 1904-1905, and the disastrous participation in World War I intensified public discontent. In 1917, the Russian Revolution overthrew the monarchy, and the Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, established the world's first communist state. The Soviet Union, formally founded in 1922, pursued rapid industrialization, collectivization of agriculture, and strict central control under leaders such as Joseph Stalin. While the USSR became a global superpower, Stalin's regime was notorious for mass purges, forced labor camps, and severe repression. During World War II, known in Russia as the Great Patriotic War, the Soviet Union played a decisive role in defeating Nazi Germany, though at the cost of immense human suffering and millions of deaths. After the war, the USSR emerged as a superpower, engaged in the Cold War with the United States, influencing global politics through its ideology, military power, and space achievements, including launching the first human, Yuri Gagarin, into space in 1961. Collapse of the Soviet Union and modern Russia. By the 1980s, the Soviet system faced economic stagnation and political challenges. Reforms introduced by Mikhail Gorbachev, such as glasnost, openness, and perestroika, restructuring, unintentionally weakened the state's control. In 1991, the Soviet Union dissolved, and the Russian Federation emerged as its successor. The 1990s were marked by economic hardships, political instability, and a decline in living standards. However, in the 2000s, under the leadership of Vladimir Putin, Russia reasserted itself on the global stage, stabilizing the economy and projecting military power. Yet issues of authoritarianism, corruption, and strained relations with the West remain defining features of contemporary Russia. Conclusion. The history of Russia is a story of resilience, expansion, and transformation. From the early days of Kievan Rus to the global influence of the Soviet Union and the challenges of modern Russia, the nation has continually reinvented itself. Its vast geography, diverse cultures, and complex political legacy make it one of the most fascinating and influential countries in world history. Russia's past not only helps us understand its present, but also provides insights into the future trajectory of global politics and power. Settings. Use Hashim Jafar as watermark text. Use a male young Indian voice for the narrator.